Hey, what is going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And today is the renewal deadline. Well, one of the renewal deadlines. If you remember for your pre-licensing course, or in case you haven't taken it yet, there's two renewal deadlines, either March 31st or September 30th. And basically everybody has one of these two dates in every other year where their license is going to expire. Now, for your first renewal, it's really important that you get post-licensing completed. Not just before your renewal, but as soon as possible to help jumpstart your real estate career. But then what about every 2 years after that? Well, that's going to be continuing education. This is a 14-hour requirement, which can be completed through a very simple, very easy correspondence course where it doesn't really actually take 14 hours of actual time. You could take 14 hours to do it, but it usually doesn't take that long to complete our correspondence course. So, post-licensing, continuing education. If you get a broker license, there's also post-licensing courses for your broker license. In addition to continuing education, you'll have to do every 2 years after that as well. But what we're going to be breaking down today are just some of the basics of when you'll have to complete these courses by, what it is that you're going to learn from them, because yeah, you actually do learn some information from them, and the timing of them, of when it is you should be taking these courses. Not just when the renewal deadline is, but when it is that you're able, and not just able, but should take these courses. So that's what we're talking about today. I'm really excited to bring today's show to you. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. I'm John Christmo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christmo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. If you guys like today's topic and want more episodes on renewal deadlines or post-licensing, or how the post-licensing course or continuing education courses can help you grow your real estate business, hit that thumbs up button for us. Or if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of the videos that we put out, make sure you hit that little bell icon so you get notifications of whenever it is we go live or post new videos to help you guys better understand real estate, the real estate industry, and just really achieve that dream real estate career that you set out to when you first maybe started watching these, if you're brand new to real estate, or if you're just coming to us later in life after you've already done some real estate things, of what it is that got you started, where it is that you came from, and why it is that you embarked on this journey to get your real estate license in the first place. So let's talk about the deadlines first and foremost. Now, again, all the deadlines are going to be either two dates of the year, either March 31st or September 30th. So either March 31st or September 30th, the last day in both of those months. Now, what determines your renewal cycle is going to depend on the date it is that you're licensed. And then it's going to be plus 18 to 24 months. So whatever the date it is that you get licensed, plus 18 to 24 months, whatever of these two dates fall within that 18 to 24 month window is going to be your renewal deadline. Now, if you already have your real estate license, you could simply look on your license to see what that deadline is. You don't even need to look at your physical license. You can just go to myfloridalicense.com, click on verify a license, type in your name, and it'll show what your expiration date is. And not just to you, but to anybody that's curious of whose license expires when and whether or not you have a current active valid license and so on and so forth. So you can find that all right at myfloridalicense.com. And you can log onto your account on there. If you already have a license, you have an account. If you've already done an application for your real estate license, you'll have an account with the DBPR. That's myfloridalicense.com. So that's really your central hub for managing your renewal. This is where you're going to see the hours that you complete with a school like us, where we report these directly to the DBPR. So when you complete post-licensing or continuing education through Tampa School of Real Estate, we report that information for you directly to the DBPR. We send that to them electronically, which is nearly flawless submission, but we always recommend that you verify that those hours show, because believe it or not, we actually don't have a way to verify that on our end. We get a confirmation when we submit that to the DBPR, but we always recommend that students double check to make sure everything checks out and looks as it should on their continuing education portal of the DBPR. So when you log in, and we actually have a whole video, a screen recording of how to verify your hours, so you can check that out. I'll put the link right here. It's tsre.us/verify. So if you go to that website right there, tsre.us/verify, that'll actually take you to a screen recording that'll actually show you where you could log in to the DBPR website and view, I believe it's called View My Continuing Education. And whether you need to do post-licensing or continuing education, it all shows up in that section of View My Continuing Education. So you're able to see on there if how many hours are required and how many hours have been reported that you're completed. Because if you don't have the necessary hours, you're not going to be able to renew your real estate license. You're going to lose your real estate license if that's post-licensing that needs to get done. Post-licensing, your license goes null and void. Now, if you have a broker license, your broker license will go null and void. You could step down to a sales associate at that point, but post-licensing, that's the one with the very firm deadline, no grace period, no extension, anything like that. There are ways you could apply for a hardship extension with the DBPR, but those are very rarely granted, so don't even consider that an option unless your license is already hit past that deadline. But log on right on there, tsre.us/verify, and you'll be able to see exactly where to go within the DBPR website, not just to see your renewal deadline, but again, what courses you have to complete. And then when it comes time to pay that renewal fee, the renewal fees are, I just had to pay one for granted I have multiple licenses, but for a single license, it was only $36 to renew the license, and that's for 2 years. So very cost effective. Now, if you're watching this in the future at some point, these change on a year-to-year basis, so it might not be $36. That is cheaper than what it actually used to be, so they have cut costs quite a bit on those renewal fees for us. But yeah, only $36 to renew your license. Now, you only pay that fee, I believe it's within 90 days, maybe even sooner than that, but I believe it is 90 days. Once 90 days out, you could start and actually go in there and pay your renewal fee. Now, when it comes down to, this is what your initial deadline would be figured here, this 18 to 24 months. Now, if you haven't taken your exam yet, this is a potential exam question. A potential exam question, if you're licensed on this date, what is your renewal deadline? And the way you figure this out, because this could be kind of confusing if you're trying to answer this in an exam question, but the way you figure this out, and it makes it real easy if you understand this to remember what your renewal is for the real world, is you add 2 years and fall back. So you just add 2 years and fall back to either March 31st or September 30th, whatever the most recent deadline is. But like I said, once you get past the exam, you can just look on your license, look up your license at the DBPR, and it'll have that date on there. You'll also get renewal reminders from the DBPR, as well as we send out reminders as well to our past students of, hey, make sure you enroll in your post-licensing, continuing education, whatever courses it is that you're required to take. But let's talk about when you should take these courses, or actually what courses you need to take, because I briefly mentioned at the beginning 45-hour post-licensing and 14-hour continuing education. So for your first renewal deadline, for whether it's a sales associate or broker license, you'll have to do post-licensing. So immediately after your pre-licensing, once you get the license, you'll have to do post-licensing. Pre and post-licensing. It's like a 2-part process. And once you complete this 2-part process, there is a grace period built in to where you could very easily get your real estate license back active within a certain period of time after it goes inactive for, say, not completing your continuing education. But for post-licensing, they are pretty strict on that deadline. So strict that, yes, they do have grace periods that you could potentially file for. So if you're watching this and your license, let's say it's tomorrow and your license just expired tonight at midnight, because if your hours are not showing by tonight at midnight, your license does go null and void. if post-licensing was your requirement. Now, let's say you finish your course right at 11:59 tonight. As long as your course is completed by 11:59, before the clock strikes midnight, because midnight, that now becomes April 1st. So as long as you have your course completed by 11:59, it'll be today that your course completion shows. And if your license expires at midnight, well, it takes sometimes up to 48, sometimes actually up to 72 hours for these reportings to actually show and reflect on the DBPR website. So what's going to happen if you still don't have those hours that are showing on there? Your license will most likely go null and void temporarily. Now, once your license becomes null and void, you have to then contact the DBPR, maybe forward them your completion certificate, because it usually goes into a manual review process. This has been something they've been trying to get better at over the years, and they have definitely improved in getting people's licenses back to showing correctly on the DBPR faster, but it definitely can be a frustrating process. So if you're on the renewal deadline right now, and look, there's nothing you can do at this point. If you just finished your course, you're just finishing your courses a day, just get them done as soon as you can, so those reportings will go in as soon as possible, because when those reportings go in, then hopefully they show right away. If anything, it takes up to 48, maybe 72 hours for them to show, and there's just some lapse in the license where it'll eventually backdate to the date it is that you completed that course, because whatever date it is that you complete the course is what matters. Even if there's an error in transmission, and that's why we always recommend that you go to that tsre.us/verify to go in there and verify your hours, because if there's any hours that don't show, definitely let us know. If you completed those hours and they're not showing in there, and they don't show within 48 hours of you, 72 hours I would say at the max you completed the course, and usually it's even faster than that. It's just when we get close to the renewal deadline, it does tend to lag a little bit and slow down. I don't know, they're getting better slowly but surely at the DBPR. Things improve every renewal cycle that we have, but just be prepared if you're at the last minute here that there could be some lapse in your license until that gets corrected, once that gets rectified at the DBPR. So we don't ever recommend doing this at the last minute. And not only is this stressful, but if you think about it, so let's say you just got your real estate license. Let's say that you got your real estate license, let's say earlier this week. Let's say on March 26th. Which I think was last Friday. So let's say you got licensed on March 26th of 2021. What is going to be your initial renewal deadline? So we're going to go 2 years in advance, which is going to be March 26th of 2023. But we can't wait until March 31st of 2023, because that'd be on 2 years. You can never go forward. You never fall forward. You always have to go 2 years ahead and fall back. So your actual renewal deadline here is going to be March 26th. It's going to be September 30th of 2022, because remember, now we're falling back into the previous year. So if you're just getting licensed, this is going to be your renewal deadline that you must complete post-licensing by. And on September 30th of 2022, we'd basically be having the same conversation if you're completing that course right then, right up against your renewal deadline. So that's obviously bad that you don't want to complete it right before the renewal deadline, because that's where it gets cut really close. And if it gets submitted on today, chances are it might not reflect until a couple of days, and then they have to manually go back and reset your license, because as far as it's been the last however many renewal cycles, the computers can't do that themselves, so it manually has to be a person going through fixing that, which that could take time. So you don't want to find yourself in that situation, but then there's also a lot of time that goes by here. Now this is only going to be about 18 months. Depends on what time of year you get licensed, on whether it's 18 months or 24 months. If you're right before a renewal deadline, it's going to be closer to 18 months. If you're right after a renewal deadline, it's going to be closer to 24 months. But don't let that change when you go to take your exam. A lot of people say, oh no, I'm going to wait to take my exam because I don't want to have my renewal right away. Look, it doesn't matter, because there's a lot of time to go by here for you to try to figure out real estate on your own. So initially what you have to take is your 45-hour post-licensing course. And when I got started in real estate, to share a personal story, I did not want to take this class. I saw this as a waste of time because I saw pre-licensing as a waste of time. Not necessarily a waste of time. I mean, I get it. The laws and rules are important, but it's not information that was going to help me make money in real estate. And no one really expects you to be able to make money off of the information you're learning in pre-licensing because it primarily focuses on laws and rules. The basics of what needs to go in a contract, the basics of legal descriptions, the basics of understanding valuing a property and creating appraisals and CMAs, and understanding property taxes and understanding the mortgage process and understanding titles and deeds and the property rights and easements and liens and escrow accounts and brokerage relationships you could have with your clients and the different renewal deadlines, the licensing rules, updating your address, all these random things that when you look back on them, you're like, okay, yeah, I guess I need to know these things, but it's not information that's teaching how to sell a house. You know, when you sign up for a pre-licensing course, you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to learn all about real estate, I'm going to learn how to sell houses. Not so much, because that course is really more so an exam prep course to help prepare you to pass the state exam, because if you don't have a real estate license, it doesn't matter how much you know about practicing real estate, you can't practice real estate without a license. So there's all that stigma to the pre-licensing course that if you don't know what you're signing up for with the 45-hour post-licensing course, it's easy to think that, oh, well, Tampa School of Real Estate, they just wanted to teach me how to pass the exam. And, you know, they did a great job with that, but look, I already passed my exam. I don't need to know how to just pass my exam. I need to know how to sell real estate now. Or I just need to go out there and figure it out or do it or find a broker that is training. Or that's really the big thing. A lot of people are like, okay, well, what do I do? Well, finding a broker with training, yes, but now how do you even find the right broker? How do you even know what the right broker is for you? How do you even know what you're going to be doing with your real estate license? You might have a general idea of how your real estate license works and what you could do with it. You do kind of get the gist of that. You learn about calculating commissions in your pre-licensing course. You might have bought or sold a home before, so you might already have a general idea of how real estate works, but how does it really work? How do you actually make money from it? How do you make a business out of it? Not just something that you have the ability to do, but something that you're an expert in doing. That's where your 45-hour post-licensing course comes into play. And this course does not have a state exam. So look, there's not some big state board exam we've got to prepare you for with post-licensing. Now, there is an end-of-course exam because the Florida Real Estate Commission wants us to test you to see if you took away certain things from the course. So there will be an end-of-course exam. But look, this end-of-course exam is really not that difficult, especially because the subject matter that's covered in your post-licensing course, I guarantee, unless you really like laws, if you really like laws, you might like your pre-licensing course better, but I guarantee you'll find it more interesting unless you really like those laws. If you really like laws and rules, you'll probably prefer pre-licensing. But if you're interested, if you're curious as to what does a real estate professional actually do, how do they make money, how do you create a business plan for I want to make this much money, I want to sell this many houses, and I need to do this, and this. So laying out the framework of your business and understanding these foundational, fundamental, basic ideas. This is what's going to lay the framework for everything you're going to have after that is going to make much more sense. You'll be able to pick up on things a lot faster. When you're interviewing brokers, when you're talking to brokers, things will make more sense of what they're talking about and what they have to offer. And understanding how they could fit into your plan just instead of just how you fit into their plan. You know, if you go into a brokerage not knowing exactly what it is that you want, you know, you might say that that's money. Well, there's a lot of ways they could tell you it is that they can make you money. And look, if you're flexible, if you'll do anything somebody tells you just because they told you to do it, well, as long as they got a good strategy that works and you're going to do what they tell you to do, it'll probably work. But what if there's a certain way you want to conduct yourself? What if the whole reason why you got into real estate was that you want to be your own boss and be in control of your own business and really build your own empire? You know, that's a big reason why a lot of people get into real estate is they want to have more control, more freedom. And if your brokerage tells you to do things one way and you do something a different way, that clash is going to result in usually more heartache for both of you, more issues for the both of you, just because you're going against the tried and true proven system. But you might be doing that just because really once you start figuring out your plan, you realize maybe that brokerage wasn't the best fit for you. And so that's why we really emphasize to take this post-licensing course as soon as you're licensed. So if you're licensed on March 26, you could get into this post-licensing course as soon as you're licensed. Your license will show up on the DBPR, if not within the same day, within 24 hours. A lot of times it's the same day, especially if you have an early exam. And so as soon as you're licensed, you could enroll in the post-licensing course. You could start taking that post-licensing course. You could start to figure out your business plan. You could start to lay the framework for the success of your business. And that you understand things, maybe not every last thing, because you'll still need training from your broker most likely. You'll still need, real estate is a lifelong learning process. There's always more information to gain. There's always better ways to do things. There's always new technologies popping up. So there's a constant ability to reshape your real estate business. But you got to know the basics. You got to know the fundamentals. Because all of these more advanced things all build on these basic concepts. Having a business plan and just understanding what it's going to take to achieve whatever goals it is that you've set out for yourself. If there's a certain amount of income you want to generate, or a certain number of houses that you want to sell, or anything like that, it's really important that you plan this out and you understand what it's going to take so you don't burn yourself up by setting yourself up for failure. Because if you're constantly just chasing after a goal you're never going to meet, you're eventually just going to burn out and give up if you're never going to meet it. But if it is a goal that you're going to achieve, it's really not a question of if you'll succeed, it's a question of when. And there's things that you could do to take time out of the equation, to bring that win closer to now. The less you take the wheel, the less you take charge, the less you take initiative, the longer it'll take for you to achieve success. The faster you start taking control of your real estate business, you start taking initiative, taking control, taking steps to not just run it, but actively grow it, that's when you'll really start to gain a lot of momentum. But it's hard to do that if you don't know what to do, if you don't know the basics, if you don't really understand the business full circle. Again, not necessarily knowing every little nut and bolt and every little moving part, but understanding how this fits together as a whole, not from a legal standpoint, not from the perspective of passing your exam, but from the perspective of actually practicing real estate as a business. That's what your post-licensing course is more about. And again, this isn't going to be the end-all be-all, but it's the information that you need when you're starting out. Trust me on this, because when I finally took this course, I put this off back when I got my real estate license, and because I put this off, I set myself up for failure. I struggled to start out. I focused on the wrong things. I was at a broker that wasn't the right fit for me. There was a lot of things that are going on, but I was my own worst enemy. Because I was ignorant, because I thought I knew it all. I thought I didn't need this. I had my own ideas of, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to make these really cool business cards and I'm going to set up a really cool website. Lo and behold, those things are great additions to your business, but they aren't the business, because without clients, then you really don't have much of a business. So it doesn't matter how good your business card looks or how good your real estate website looks if you don't have any clients. And just that little bit right there. And the thing was, I didn't know how to get clients other than making a business card, other than maybe setting up a website. When I went to school, I got a degree in marketing, and I learned all about the marketing stuff, but now when it came in, I actually had done sales before, so I knew how to sell stuff. When the disconnect, I don't know. I wasn't focused on the right things. I didn't have a plan laid out. One day I took a phone call from Zillow. And Zillow was saying, hey, we could sell you leads, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, great. I actually, I got this really great website. I got all these great business cards, and I'm running out of money, so I really got to make some money. So if you got leads, then send them, let's go. How much is it going to cost? And I signed up for leads, and I struggled, and this is why I always say don't pay for advertising when you're brand new, because I started burning through these leads rather than reaching out to my sphere of influence and trying to get some business from there and really working on my sales and people and relationship building skills. I went right into spending money for leads, and I got leads coming in, and I struggled to build those personal relationships, because how am I going to build a personal relationship with a complete stranger when I'm already afraid or terrified or not able to or not willing to do that with current friends, family member, whatever the case may be. So again, there's just so many little basic things, and it's different for everybody. So what it is that are going to be your takeaways when you're going through post-licensing are going to depend on your experiences and your past and what it is that you need to take away from real estate. Maybe it's on running your own business, more entrepreneurial mindset and business planning. Maybe that's what's important. Or maybe what's important is understanding some more of the mechanics of, say, submitting an offer or negotiating, or again, there's many parts of this. Or maybe you are ready to start launching a farming strategy, an advertising strategy, and you want to figure out how to pick out the right farm area. That's something you're going to learn in post-licensing as well. You know, it's a really powerful course, and no, it's not going to teach you everything, but it's going to teach you so much information that's going to help you grow your real estate business. Now, there's also continuing education. Now, continuing education is a much shorter requirement, and this is what's going to be required every 2 years after. So this is going to be your post-licensing deadline. Now, again, you're going to do your post-licensing as soon as possible, so you're not rushing. And also, if you think about it, ideally, 2 years down the road, 18 months down the road, where do you want your real estate business to be? Do you want your real estate to be like it is right now if you just got your real estate license? Probably not, because if you just got your real estate license, you probably don't have too much going on in your real estate business. Now, 2 years from now, fast forward 2 years, are you still not going to have anything going on in your real estate business? Are you perhaps going to be a little bit busier maybe than you currently are? Maybe you not having any business is going to be a lot better opportunity to complete this post-licensing as opposed to when you start getting busy, or you're actually going to be more likely to get busy by doing this post-licensing sooner, because you'll know, again, a lot of those basic fundamentals about actually practicing and making a business out of real estate. So do that sooner rather than later. As soon as you got your real estate license, you're able to get in and start your post-licensing course. And then when you're within 90 days, your renewal deadline, you'll pay your renewal fee to the DBPR. And then again, another 2 years out. So another 2 years out puts you at September 30th of 2024. And that's going to be when your 14-hour continuing education course is going to be due. Now, if you do your post-licensing right away, if you knock out your post-licensing right away, you could do continuing education courses, but those credits that you earn during this time frame will not count towards this time frame. So whatever hours you need to achieve, so during this time frame is where you have to get those 14 hours in, you've just got to do it sometime there. Now, I would recommend as soon as you hit that next renewal cycle, get it knocked out so you don't have to worry about it. Now, this is a much easier requirement to meet, but at the same time, there's a lot of opportunity to take away information. Now, there are requirements out of this 14 hours. So 3 hours has to be law, which that is meant to cover any important legal updates. A lot of times these are just refreshing the things that are most important, or maybe current issues, trends, stuff like that. But 3 hours of law. And a newer requirement over the last couple of years is 3 hours of ethics. So 3 hours of law, 3 hours of ethics, that's 6 hours. That leaves us now 8 hours of elective time. Now, your 45-hour course, that's a much more stitched together type of format, whereas continuing education, it's broken up like this, so you don't have to keep taking the same exact continuing education. Now, the laws, those might be the same, especially if there's not many changes in the laws. The ethics, and maybe they have some different stories or different things they share on ethics with that. But then there's all these electives. So there's continuing education courses we have about specializing in property management, about specializing in commercial, about specializing in maybe green properties, green energy-wise, but then also green, we have a marijuana in real estate course. So if you're maybe interested in cashing in on the real estate side of the growing marijuana industry in Florida, we actually have a continuing education course on that. There's a course on working with veterans. You know, we live in Tampa here. We have MacDill Air Force Base. There's a large population of veterans, not just in Tampa, but throughout the whole state. So there's a lot of programs that are available for members of our military as well as veterans. So there's continuing education course you could take on that. All kinds of little tidbits of information, which are these going to be life-changing courses? No, but do you have the opportunity to learn some information that's going to help you grow your real estate business? Definitely. So not only is this a requirement, and look, we've got two options. We've got a correspondence course, which is going to be super easy if you just want to get this requirement knocked out, or we've got some really great online programs that dive into some of these other subjects. So if you want to take this as an opportunity to actually learn more about, again, one of these particular subjects, we have that available as well. If you've got questions on what you might specifically need, or you're unsure of what requirements you need to complete for your license renewal, just call us up, 813-333-2676. We'll walk you through what those renewal deadlines look like and basically figure out, you know, what your renewal deadline is going to potentially require based on when it is you got your real estate license and what that whole process looks like. Look, we've been doing this for quite some time. We've been around since 2007, and we've helped thousands of students not just start their real estate careers, but continue their real estate careers by renewing and you know, upping their level of education and understanding of the real estate industry. Because every time you complete a post-licensing or continuing education course, that is what you're doing. And you know, this is a requirement, number one, but number two, it's an opportunity to take your real estate business to the next level. It might not be a light year jump, but it might. I guarantee you, every one of these little courses here, there's maybe something you could take away. Even the law stuff, because understanding and knowing what's important to the Florida Real Estate Commission and what they're going to be most concerned with is going to help you ensure that you don't have an issue being able to even practice real estate, because if you break one of the FREC rules, you might potentially lose your real estate license. So, you know, there's some return on investment on knowing what it is you're supposed to do. Ethics, you know, that's good for helping your long-term business success. Ethics might cost you in the moment. It might cost you in the moment, but that cost in the moment will pay infinite dividends down the road if you maintain that relationship where you went above and beyond with your consumers for. And then those electives, again, they're a great opportunity to pick up some odds and ends things here and there and just increase your understanding of real estate. So, again, the post-licensing, though, make sure you're doing the right course for the right renewal deadline that you have. If this is your first renewal for a sales associate license, that's 45 hours of post-licensing. If you just got a broker license, you're going to have 60 hours of post-licensing. But then every 2 years after your post-licensing for either sales or broker, it's just going to be a 14-hour continuing education course. Again, with that combination of law, ethics, and whatever elective courses it is that you choose. So look, if you guys have more questions about what course you need to take or how you could complete them, if you're looking for post-licensing or continuing education, or you want to do it on a live stream or in class or an on-demand self-paced course, let us help you through this process. Call us, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. It's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember to hit that thumbs up button if you've liked today's episode and you'd like to see more content like this, but also hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever it is that we have new videos and new content to help you grow your real estate business. That's about all the time we've got for today. I'm John Chrisman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate, and I'll see you on Friday for State of Real Estate. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.